We're live. And Marie's phone
Marie's
is
phone
loud.
Hey everybody. Welcome to another episode of 30 Something Podcast, Season 2, Episode 2. Hey. I am Drea, of course, and
Marie.
And I'm Lisa.
I'm Kamiko.
Right.
I think she forgot she
We're
was
gonna just
here.
have a picture up there, like
Right.
picture.
So what are we talking about today? So we were going to talk about the local election.
Yes, in Dallas.
Yes, so Dallas is on the verge of becoming the new Wakanda.
Forever.
Ooh, forever.
Forever. Wakanda forever. So, we have a new black mayor, Eric Johnson. That's the police chief, Renee Hall.
But behind every black man, there's a black woman.
Right.
Um,
So we have a new mayor, Eric Johnson. Eric Johnson was a former state representative who ran for mayor along with a couple other people, Albert Black, and who else was running for mayor? Sky. Yeah, it was some upsets with that. But the runoff, he won the runoff, and he is our mayor. We have a black mayor.
Woo!
Ain't that something?
Should we be happy or?
I don't know. We'll see.
Should Dallas
Like
be
that's one
happy?
thing. Like we'll see.
Right. So.
I know he said the work now begins. You know, now that he's won, he's saying the work is now going to begin. So that'll be good for Dallas. I just want to hear, what his plans are.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like where everybody is. It's like, yeah, we kind of heard like your stance as far as policy and everything because it hasn't really too much deviated from his policy as a state rep. But he has made mention of not necessarily supporting John Crusoe.
The DA?
Well, not supporting his dismissal of theft cases for items of necessity of under $750.
That's
Like he
interesting.
made a tweet or something like that to that effect about the him dismissing those particular cases. And so it's like kind of weird to have like a black man talking about, criminalizing people. So
Yeah, that's concerning. I think so. I mean,
but he just adds to like the list of like new black leadership that we have in Dallas. So we have a black mayor, and then we have who we got? We got Police Chief Renee Hall, and there he is, our new mayor, Eric Johnson. Who else do we got? That's our DA, John Crusoe. Don't he look like all of Louisiana?
Yeah.
And we have Marion Brown. That is our Dallas County Sheriff.
So I wonder if DISD will get
And that is
African American leadership.
Well,
That'll be
and that's
interesting.
our city manager is T.C. Broadnax. And so T.C. Broadnax, he was actually the person who interviewed for, who's that? So T.C. Broadnax interviewed Chief Renee Hall for her
This
position.
is Judge Kim.
Oh, that is Judge Kim. Judge Kim is the judge who is now presiding over the Amber Geiger trial. But there are tons of black women judges that are here in Dallas. We got Amber Gibbons. We have so many black judges. It's so much like black political power in Dallas and the DFW Metroplex. And I was just curious as to how that actually translates into benefiting black citizens in DFW. So now we have, because that's usually what they say, like,
Right.
Once you get the political power, then you're able to create change. But is that true?
Exactly.
What is that? What do they call that when you live into? I'm trying to think of the word I want to say.
Was it identity politics?
Yeah, to some degree, because it's like you living in two worlds, and that may not even be realistic. And then that is the thing where it's like, are we excited? Because just because they black folks doesn't mean that they're gonna create change.
Right.
Like, so
And
we've seen that historically on a regular.
Historically, we've seen that like
Right.
all skin folk and kinfolk, right? And so just to see that like John Crusoe in our new mayor doesn't necessarily see eye to eye when it comes down to like criminalization. that's interesting, and so you would think that
Right.
we would be able to like function cohesively,
Double
and
consciousness.
double consciousness. And as far as like Chief Hall, she feels like we need more police officers, but also that we need like more community involvement and more programs for the community. And the murder rate,
Well,
where we
who's
at?
gonna fund the programs though? When you request something, you have to have available
Right.
funding for those
No,
programs as
and
well.
I'm gonna tell you this about the city of Dallas. They will find funding for wherever they want. I've seen it happen
Exactly.
time and time
That
again.
part.
They will come up with the money. In one shape, form, fashion, or another. I still don't understand how we get in the deck park in the middle of the hood over there off of 8th Street. It's weird to me, but okay, if that's where they want to put it,
That's
where
right.
there's no grocery stores, then that's fine.
Well, eventually, I'm sure they will put grocery stores because they are going to implement the gentrification of that area. So.
Right.
But then, again, those grocery stores won't benefit the actual residents that they said that they were.
Not the ones that they haven't priced
The
out,
current
because
ones,
I
yeah.
feel
Right.
like, and you'll see like in the communities. This is totally getting off topic, but you'll see like in the communities
That's what we do.
with
Right.
with like over there in the bottoms, right?
Mhm.
Over there off of 8th Street, like when they
I know where you're talking
yeah,
about.
in the bottoms. That community has been like pretty much forgotten about until people have started resurfacing, saying, "Hey, people are knocking on my door, asking can they buy my house."
Well, that's some prime real estate. If you pay
If
attention,
you get ready to put a deck
right, and if you build those houses, new houses in that area correctly, that's like a good view of the Dallas skyline. It's good real estate. So of course the door knockers are coming to get
Yeah.
people to sell their houses.
And a lot of people don't have clear deeds, like they
Right.
stay
And
in
they know that they
in
don't
their
have to.
grandparents' old house, but they not really their grandchild. They was just, somebody's.
There was a Pookie little cousin, little nephew they took in, but
Right,
really ain't even
Pookie.
nephew, like, but
Right.
they knew their mom and she was a friend of the family. We really love her.
Right.
Bless her
And,
heart.
and there are like certain instances where they can go in and declare like eminent domain and things of that sort. But
Yeah.
That's coming.
Y'all viewers trying to talk to y'all.
let's see what it's saying.
Well, yeah, what
Gentrification
is
of the
people
area
saying?
has already started. Yes, it has. It really has. It's just bleeding over from Bishop Arts. It's basically where it's coming
And that's
from.
been the plan all along, though, too.
Yeah, and they're getting ready to put what is it, a Central Market or Whole Foods over there? One of them
Oh,
on
I
the
didn't know
prissy
that.
grocery stores. I just need for
You
them
said
to
a
stop with
prissy
the
grocery
dollar
store?
stores. Like if we could get like an actual freaking grocery store that's not in Aldi's and not a dollar store, then I would be okay. Because once they closed down the Walmart that was on Wheatland, the only grocery store like that like definitely.
Well, they have the Winco off Copper Hill.
Right, but okay, so in that particular area, this is away from 8th Street, but in that particular area over there, in that Duncanville, DeSoto,
Mhm.
Dallas
Mhm.
corridor, it's tons of walkability. Like there's people walking from all those apartments that are back there, and they depended on that Wheatland Walmart when it was
Right.
there. That's a hell of a walk
It
to walk
is.
all the way to Winco. And of course, like nobody took that into account. I really don't even know what happened as to why they
Oh
closed
well,
that
it was a
Walmart.
lot of theft going on in the store, allegedly. I know I like to use that word, but allegedly there was some theft in the store with management misappropriating funds, taking funds, and allegedly. So
I heard something to that effect as well.
they closed it to weed out the problems, and it'll eventually reopen once they fix the problems
I
that they
remember
were
when that
having,
Walmart was
but-
on Copper Hill, bro. Like, and it moved over there off of Wheatland. It was where Winco was, and it was kind of like it was just a staple in the hood. Like everybody always complained about how hood it was, but it provided like
Everything they
what
needed,
the
but
community
the
needed.
necessities.
Right, and Target is high as hell.
It
That's
is.
my store, but I do understand that they are way more. The price point is way more expensive.
You can't go to Target without like spending $300.
It's a
Like you
$200
go in
extra
there and
fee.
it's
The
a
thing
minute.
is, Target don't accept no stamps, and the people who were shopping at
They don't take EBT?
Walmart, I don't
That's
think
funny.
they do.
Whole Foods takes food
Do
stamps.
y'all know
Central Market takes food
if
stamps.
Target takes EBT?
I
Well,
would
I
think it
don't
would be
think
in their
stamps.
entrance.
Nobody know what no EBT is.
Oh, I forgot about that Walmart on Clark Road. They built that Walmart when I was living over there.
Hey JoJo.
But So yeah, we have a lot of black leadership, and so I'm just kind of wondering about how that's gonna like kind of all mesh and you know
It could be
meld
beautiful,
together.
or it could be bad.
I'm just.
I think it's
I
gonna
s-
be what it always is. I'm sorry.
Right? No.
And when you get in power,
You forget.
you forget the people that voted you into power. That's what I think is.
Is it that you forget, or is it that you don't have the power that you think you? Because I think when you go in there hopeful, right, and then you get there and you realize a lot of things is there's bureaucracy everywhere. There's red tape everywhere.
Exactly.
So even the people that you think are in power ain't really in power.
Mhm.
Somebody's pulling string. There's constituents.
Well, somebody's
there's
holding
money.
the money.
There's money.
Mhm.
And so I think that sometimes you're gonna get like. Really, even being in a position of power, like that's a lot of responsibilities. A lot of things coming your way that we don't even know about. So, as much as we can say, "Oh, I would do it this way," until we're really in those shoes, we don't
Right.
know how we would do it. And even too,
Right.
it's how people are going to see it. Because what I could do for you, you might love it. I could. The
Right.
same thing for you. You might like, hey,
And people
there's
don't
no
understand
boundary
that you
there.
have to compromise a whole lot in politics, and it gets
Yeah.
super messy. But I want that to actually mean something. Like I want all this black political leadership to translate into something, but it doesn't seem like it ever does, right? Like it seems like it's always structured the same, where it's like even if the hood like gets a little bit, then you want to give them a little bit, but if you give them too much, then you call it gentrification. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, well, yeah, we need more police, and I feel like honestly with Eric Johnson coming in with his mindset that we don't want to use any type of like collective bargaining power to say, hey, okay, I understand that we're understaffed in police, but once you get staffed, can we cut it off at that, right? Where you're fully staffed. But we're saying, no, we don't need any police. All these community meetings that I've been seeing, y'all done community meet me to death. Everybody wants to sit around and talk about how to drop the crime rate, and it's like, well, we don't need more police, we just need higher minimum wage and things of that sort. But my thing is, people don't understand that you're tackling a mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a mindset of a person who doesn't have goals, doesn't have ambition, or just
Doesn't have hope.
Right, doesn't have hope.
There's,
essentially,
like,
you don't have
desperation.
hope. Then how you can't pay them out of that
But
mindset.
you can't. That's very true.
I mean, it's the same thing when we get our tax refund. It's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't have that person like structure their lives to where it's like they can get ahead. Like you have to be able to tackle that mindset.
And I think it's a multi-layer thing.
Mhm.
Like, so there's so many different, like, well, we need to tackle this. But it's like, I feel like everyone kind of holds fast to like, well, it's this. Well, actually, no, it's everything. So everyone's right.
Right.
Like,
Everybody is right.
everyone's right. So let's
But
not
I think
fight.
the fact that like black people we have such a knee-jerk reaction when it comes to law
But we
enforcement.
rightfully so, though.
Right. And
We
it's
right.
true. It's
Mhm.
true. But how do you have a safe environment without the police? We don't self-police.
We don't. That's
we
the
like
piece.
to lie and say we do, but the truth is, I have seen people in commission of crimes, and I've seen people walk straight on by. I've seen people drive straight on
Or
by.
they record.
Right, or they're recording.
Right.
Where it's like,
Oh, no.
nobody's self-policing, but y'all don't want the police here. So what happens when somebody kick your mama door in? You gonna come and save the day?
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
I'm
That's
gonna
what
call.
we
I'm gonna call Daddy. Come
Something
up the block.
strange.
So I don't agree with over-policing our communities at all, but at the same token, we understaffed. Like we ain't got enough.
Even on that note, though, I kind of bring it back to just the local officials being so many of them being African Americans. Just the idea of, you know how much pressure that is? Like, it's so much pressure to be the first. Like, or to be into, like, even I feel like even Obama, there's some people that felt disappointed, but going back to, it's like, some people like he was the best president, and then some people like, well, he was, and for us, he was the first black
I wanted my
president.
reparations.
And I'm glad you brought up
Trying to buy
Obama
some
because
pizza.
I feel like a lot happened within the black community while Obama was president. And it seems so weird that like police shootings spiked like at a ridiculous rate while Obama was president. Like it was almost like a slap in the face type situation.
Or even like, we're gonna try you.
And it's
Okay,
like,
Mr. Black President.
you ain't finna do nothing about it, right? Because police policy trumps everything. So if that's in their policy and you're letting them handle it on that level, then you're not going to escalate it to like a federal issue. And he never did.
But then too, I don't think even coming from like Chicago, the idea of having the government or the actual federal government involved, even when Trump was talking, I'm just sending the National Guard. Like going back to that, I'm one of the, hey, we don't need the National Guard. Like, how about we work on, like, but even too, I don't want to be police on a federal level because that's when you start implementing like ridiculous
martial law.
Yeah, basically.
Well, they said the state troopers.
But we
were
can
coming
do
to Dallas.
that. But we can't send anybody to fix the Flint water.
Yeah,
issue.
but the giant got shit in no water.
That's
They
a
like,
local issue.
We can't fix no pipes or nothing.
That's a
we
local
ain't sending
issue.
the National Guard to fix that.
I'm good.
So, what else do we have?
We needed to talk about the weekend weather. Who got caught up in the, what was it, a rain bomb?
They call it a
Tsunami.
rain bomb.
Maria.
I was just trying to get a grill from Target. I was trying to do the right thing, not have to. Yes, because I was laying in bed thinking how I would like some jerk chicken and shrimp, and I was like, I just need to marinate it. Oh, I need a grill because I don't own one. And I was like, I'm gonna go out instead of ordering takeout. I'm gonna go out and pick up the grill. As soon as I walk out of Target, the shit hit the fan. It was
What
like
was you
things
doing?
were flying.
I was driving from Arlington to Oak Cliff, dropping Jade. I was leaving
Oh
track meet.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the funny thing is, I saw, what are those little white little flowers? You know, the ones we used to blow as a kid?
Like a dandelion.
Yeah, okay, so those things were just blowing all around the freeway. And I was like, what is
That's
that?
odd.
And so, yeah, and I was like, okay, what's going on? Then it just started sprinkling. But, like, I really wasn't in any bad weather. And I know
I think you kind of like missed it.
I like once I got to Oak Cliff,
it was
it
Arlington.
started, and then when I was on my way back to Arlington, it started in Arlington. So when I got to Arlington, it was sunny. So I'm thankful.
And Miko was in Houston.
From Houston.
And she was
She's
like,
sending pictures
y'all want
of
to
the
be in the
sunshine.
studio? I was like, girl, we
It's
up
a
under
storm.
the mattress.
It
What
was-
are you talking
We
about?
telling us a storm. She sent us pictures. Well, it's really sunny.
It
Oh, the
was.
road.
It was clear weather, but
I
I
think
heard
we
in
need to
Dallas
stay
that
here.
it was a beautiful day.
It did
Yeah,
all the time.
then all of a
But
sudden,
right after it was insane. Like the sun came out.
Yeah, it was like, what kind of game is this?
it was like little orphan
we ain't got
Annie
no
bust out with the
electricity,
song.
but the sun out. Like the sun is out.
But
They
it
canceled the
was
rest
crazy.
of the track.
Like
meet. I was
literally,
mad.
they were like, it was like you going down the road. It's like, is this hell or is this debris? I don't even know what the hell it is. It's this moment I can't really see. I'm like going down. I want to say I was on Mumford. I was in North Dallas, and as I'm going down, like the light just fell. So then I had to hit the corner, then like bend that block. Then it's like the wind is
sound like
coming.
some hood stuff.
Yeah, it was just like the wind is
the
coming
block.
north.
I
You know,
wasn't
I'm
gonna
kinda
say
hood.
nothing.
Had to bend the block. So
Yeah.
the wind's like coming north. You don't know what's going. I'm like, okay, I felt like I was in an apocalypse. I
Mhm.
literally hid in the Macy's parking lot of the Galleria, and I was literally 2 minutes from home, but I didn't want to drive into it. It was
I see.
crazy. What about the crane death?
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
so
look.
that was really sad. Additionally, with the
And
weather,
that, because
that was at Elan City Lights Apartments.
is that was the name of it?
Yeah, Elan City Lights Apartments. There were 6 injuries and 1 death. A 29-year-old woman. Her name was Kristen. I can't remember her last name.
I thought she was a sister. That made me sad.
Yeah, so
They showed her graduation.
and all of those residents are actually now displaced.
Yeah.
They're having to move out. I think they get $100 a day stipend, so they probably staying in.
Mind your
Hampton.
business, John.
But what about your
It's just some
groceries? How does
juice,
that even
some
cover
juice.
that? But so check this out.
Well,
That company, the construction company, they've already had 18 different
Yeah,
complaints or issues
Wow.
as far as safety.
So they've had like 18 citations, but they did say that all in all, they were pretty much like in line with all of their inspections and everything. But I feel like for a company that large, 18 citations just really isn't that much.
Yeah,
Well, they're
I will
gonna-
say they said the wind, it was
Yeah.
supposed to withstand like up to like
70,
120.
yeah. And it was only 70 miles per hour.
It was
Yeah, so-
80 miles.
So then
is
that
what
made it
was.
seem like something was wrong, or either something wasn't done right.
But can you like imagine like sitting in your car in the parking garage and like what the fuck?
What about the people who
And
didn't
you
have
die
insurance?
from it. Like what in the
But
Well,
world?
that's
she
what I
was-
was just like, I'm
she
like,
was
I
in
ain't
her
trying to pay
home,
my
though.
deductible.
She was in her home, and so when they went in and
Because
they
I thought
did
it only
the-
hit the parking garage.
No, it actually hit the building as
Yeah,
well.
that's where she.
So when they went in and did a sweep of the building, they had to send the dogs and stuff in.
Yeah.
So they found her body in her apartment building.
Oh.
There was also a gentleman that was injured in his apartment as well, and his girlfriend, she said, it felt like years for her to get, notified if he was okay or not.
Oh man.
But I think he just sustained minor injuries. So,
But even that parking garage, or that one parking garage that caved in, it almost looked like it was made out of paper mache, like the way you seen it in the cars.
Yeah.
I'm all trying to measure,
like a
measure from a
movie.
picture, like how much, like, what was how many feet was, the inches of the concrete, like, it almost looked all flimsy. I'm like,
it says,
but you know the way
a
wrecking ball, that's what they're made for.
Miko asked,
crane or
who
whatever
still doesn't have power. I did see on the news that they said over 100,000 people are still without power in the city, and they showed like a
aerial
view,
mm-hmm.
and it was like just one big spot, it was just black patch,
right?
Like, right.
I wonder what.
And in my mind, I was like, that's the hood.
To say,
in my mind, I said it was the hood.
Some of it is over there, like in the river area.
Yeah, and people in South Dallas didn't have power.
Because I lost electricity, but I live in a business district, so within hours, like I was one of the lucky ones.
Some of my Facebook friends, they mentioned that when they called Encore was like their priority is getting the street lights on.
Yeah.
To avoid them accidents, they like, you be all right.
Pam said she was at her church anniversary celebration and the wind and rain combo made her have to hightail it to the house expeditiously.
You must go to because my mama was at the women's
But
day
I'm with Pam too on that thing about these garages coming up. Like, I swear to God, like, it really, a pet peeve, building parking garages everywhere. Like, my biggest pet peeve is that we have so many places for our vehicles, but we don't have anything for our homeless, which that is off topic. But going back to they're building so quickly because there's so much money in selling parking space, especially downtown. So to me, I almost wonder if that parking garage was flimsy.
Sell parking spaces downtown?
Yeah, think about it. You have to pay to park. So no much money you make, and now too they're associating that parking space with your driver's license, your driver's license number. So they make so much money on people just parking downtown.
That was the parking for the actual tenants of that building.
I know some though that actually, like, there's an apartment complex where they do have it for the tenants, but they also have it for the businesses.
Like a New York situation?
This floor, from this floor to this floor, this is for the tenants, and then these are these are people. Yeah. And so, but I do think that a part of me wonders. Like, I've found that as the more they build, sometimes the material they use is cheaper, and I've been seeing that
because they throw things up so fast.
Exactly, and so I do think that played a factor in it.
They have power engineers from out of state helping, and they won't be completely finished getting all the power back on until Friday. I was so grateful that my mama had power. I called her like as soon as everything is up. I'm like, "Do you have power?" And she was like, "Yeah, we got power."
Well, my mom's power went out in Capel, and hers got turned back on yesterday at like 4 a.m. But I mean, out there in White People, Texas,
but listen,
we have no issues.
One thing that we don't think about is that when you don't have power for that long, is your food goes bad.
Well, I thought you could submit a receipt to Encore and they would reimburse you.
Like, you just keep your
Walmart. That's not the case.
That's what I said to somebody. They was like, we still don't have power. I said, y'all better get that meat out the freezer. Y'all know the drill. Y'all need y'all lights cut off.
Listen.
So you gotta go get you some ice.
And get a barbecue.
Don't act like it's just me not having my lights cut off.
But even
get that cooler, get some ice.
With some
like everything is
nobody
off.
can be buying
7-Eleven, the grocery stores didn't have electricity, so even for me,
I saw Walmart had threw out a shit ton of food.
I was literally calling around to see. Like, I was calling around to see who had food or who had lights. I'm like, y'all got electricity? Jason Deli had electricity. Then it dawned on me, I'm like, well, I could sit down and eat somewhere for what I was spending there. So I was like, y'all, let's go out to eat. So like, we gonna go out to eat. We'll be all right.
But so people are having problems like in the areas with low income who don't have power that they've already spent their food stamp allotment.
Exactly.
And they purchased food and the food has gone bad. And so they're having to like go and, ask Health and Human Services, like, I understand this isn't a natural disaster, but, this is my fault that my lights are out. I pay my bill. We just having, a weather issue or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's just one aspect that we just haven't really thought about. And like the elderly, like it's not hot yet, but I'm pretty sure if you sit in the house with no fan, no nothing, it gets pretty hot.
And then luckily, like you said, that isn't the case currently because we do have a nice little breeze. But I do know some people's complaining like, I had to sleep on my patio.
So, on the patio?
Girl,
that just means that y'all got some horrible family members.
I mean,
ain't nobody taking
but everybody ain't from Texas.
Having to bring people in from out of state. Girl, the fact that it's taking this long.
Wait, she reading y'all. She reading.
Give me the glasses.
Like in the 8th grade when you don't want your classmates to hear you.
Like they can't see it.
I don't want to
next to myself first. Okay. They gotta hear you.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, so Amin says that having to bring people in from out of state and the fact that it's taking this long to get the power back on indicates the shortage of workers and manpower locally.
So that's a job opportunity right there.
Right.
Y'all need to be doing some hiring, city.
Let's see, what else are we talking about? Oh, the Dominican Republic. How many of y'all? I saw it with Tashara. Just got back from the DR.
She made it.
She did. She made it safely.
Oh my gosh.
I think so far there have been 6
or 7?
6 deaths of U.S. tourists.
And she said that her insurance was up to date.
Yeah.
So if anything would have happened,
Her kids was gonna be.
her kids. So everybody make sure you have your insurance straight.
Yeah.
Well, with that, at the allegedly, 2 of the deaths took place at the Grand Bahia Principe
I think that was
hotel.
3 or 4, actually.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're confirming 2 right now. They don't want us to.
And also there was that white lady. She lived through it, but she got the crap beat out of her. She went downstairs to go get a snack or something, and somebody like grabbed her and pulled her into.
Well,
there's an African American woman.
Well, they're saying that her story has some holes in it. I know what you're talking about. The one who said she was beat
for 8 hours.
Yeah, and she was left in a dark hole. The local authorities in Dominican Republic. Well, you can't trust them anyway because, I mean, they're lying about a whole lot of other stuff. But with the hotel, they're saying that they may have drank something out of the minibar.
Yes, they said that they might be poisoning the minibar. They're like throwing up blood.
But that's consistent though. Even the Hard Rock Hotel had the same thing. So part of me wonders if there's something going on with their liquor distributor. Because I'm trying to find the common denominator that brings everything together.
So,
but I would never visit the DR anyways because I don't like the way they treat Haitians. So.
I saw on somebody had posted. It was like a review for a resort. For a hotel there, and I'm not sure which hotel it was, but they said that it was a family that was in a hotel room, and they had some people banging on the door trying to get in.
Yeah.
And they had to end up like putting the dresser like in front of the door. And then by the time that the police got there, the police wouldn't let them see the surveillance tape or nothing like that. Because they're like, I feel like really that there are some locals, perhaps, or some sort of, I don't know what the hell is going on.
What they said for that particular case, because I've been following a lot of these cases because I'm in a lot of the travel groups on social media. For that particular case, they were saying that supposedly the hotel gave out their information to the locals. The locals contacted them and said, hey, we heard you guys wanted, we're looking for somebody to party with or something like that. And that's how they came to their hotel room.
Oh, wow.
Then there was a black lady who had to go to the U.S. Embassy because she was having some air issues in her room. The guy came and he wrote on paper like some inappropriate comment to her, and she was like, no, I'm not interested, and she told him to leave. He came back in the room. She was not dressed, and she swung on him. That's a sister. She swung on him to get him up out the room.
Yeah.
And then the hotel, they were kind of like nonchalant about it. So she ended up having to go to the U.S. Embassy, and they helped her, get back home safely.
That sounds similar to the one story where like a woman had somebody come in, she had issues with her hot tub.
Yes.
And so then he showed up when he realized she was by her. So that's my only drill. Like, sometimes I want to be like really cool and like travel out the country like solo dolo. Like I'm living my best life, but that's kind of scary. Like that kind of shit is like where I'm like, well, no, I'm still gonna go with my friends.
It's like, well, don't.
I ain't trying to get snatched up.
You getting snatched up and killed here in Dallas.
But at least I ain't got to get a passport or fly.
And your mama ain't got to pay $6,000 to bring your body.
Hey y'all, so Jonathan said also the couple a few months ago, do y'all remember, this is when all this first jumped off, that there was that couple and they found them like they were on their way to the airport.
Oh yes, I remember that.
The people told them like be careful on your way to the airport because they were going like late at night or something of that sort.
2 in the morning.
And they found their bodies completely away from each other. And I think that the man that was already dead and the woman, she ended up dying later or something like that.
I can't remember which one, but they
they
allegedly they had a wreck. They're saying they had a wreck, and then the car went off the cliff, and they found the guy's cell phone and the woman's body. His body washed ashore from another side, and then they found the woman immediately, and then the guy's body washed ashore.
I just think you have to be careful. Even one time, I think my girlfriend was sending me pictures from Paris. And I started to notice all her pictures. I kept seeing the same dudes in the backgrounds of different. So I think somebody's following you around.
But why you ain't noticed that?
Because look, you taking the selfies, I think, and she just
was too busy looking at herself.
No.
Yeah, it was like group selfies. I'm kind of like,
you got to be
not
Liam Neeson at all times.
I'm like, so
you got
be
to be
careful.
aware.
Text me when you make it back. Matter of fact, she sends me her location. I'm like, even though you're in Paris, I'm in Texas. I will call the authorities. I got you.
But yeah, just be careful out there. I know you really can't tell us nothing, especially once we done booked the trip.
You know, the Dominican Republic is a black people's travel destination.
But I don't know why. I don't know why. When they marginalize Haitians and a whole series of other things.
Listen.
Speaking of that, their own
David
people.
Ortiz.
Right, he got shot in the side or something like that while he was back home from where he's from. He plays for the Boston. Is it Red Sox? Okay, yes, go me. I don't know too much about baseball.
Ask her something about basketball though.
I don't even watch basketball. I know BD hurt his Achilles last night.
David.
Yes, that's David Ortiz.
Well, Golden State won last night.
I like to give y'all the gossip about these stories. So allegedly, first it was he got shot in an attempted robbery, but word on the social media street.
I know B Scott had reported that it was
allegedly a drug lord was upset that David was having an affair with his wife, so he hired the local police, and this is actually something they're actually reporting that in the local news too, that they're investigating that he hired local police in the Dominican Republic to hire.
Police
it was a hired hit.
I'm like, I don't trust him.
It was a hired hit.
That the police hired him.
No, that the husband, the drug lord husband, hired the local police. Local police. Mm-hmm.
When you're not paying you enough, anybody can bribe you. Like,
right.
Listen.
Hello.
So, I mean, I hope that's not true because David Ortiz has a wife and a family back home in the States.
And also that he's from the Dominican and like
do what they want.
he means a lot. Like he's definitely like a symbol for the Dominican Republic, and so
of success.
And it's one thing to see like stuff happening to people who are traveling there, but you have somebody who is like, you know, almost like an icon, you know, that's there, and he's back home, and he don't get shot here, you know, in the States, he gets shot back home. And so I feel like it just kind of just reinforces the fact that we might need to keep eyeing this over here. Or go somewhere else. There's lots of places
so many
that you
other
can
places.
go. Just like, let it cool down.
What's some other places?
Go to Ghana, South Africa,
Costa Rica,
Barbados.
You can go
Aruba.
anywhere. It's the big world.
Right.
It's the big world.
St.
You can stamp the
Lucia's.
hell out that passport and
St.
buy
I
it.
would say St. Lucia. I'm like Cuba.
You
you can't go to
show
Cuba
too
because
Trump
Trump just ruined that for us.
He canceled that.
Yeah, he ruined that trip.
Yeah, Stan said that the bullet went straight through, but it hit his liver. That sucks.
And so the Boston Red Sox did they sent he's a important player to the team, obviously.
Yeah.
So they chartered that private jet and said, hey, bring your ass back to Boston.
He is responsible for them championships. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
So so get well to David Ortiz, man, and y'all just if y'all can wait, if you can change your travel plans or whatever, because I know half y'all ain't got life insurance. I know how y'all are. Y'all ain't
life insurance.
But y'all ain't
finna leave your
family.
family.
I'm just saying, like, y'all ain't finna go fund the hell out of me because you done went to Dominican Republic. Now you people can't bury you. I told your ass don't go in the first place. I ain't got it.
I'm like,
I don't have it.
You trying to fly your body back and
right.
Nah, if you just gonna get shot here.
They say they gonna keep him over here. We don't come up with y'all. Just
Devin the dude.
What you gotta
do.
Let the Lord
My
have
name
his
Bennett
way.
ain't in it.
But
Go
let's just find somewhere else to vacation, please. So
jump off into this father's.
Yes.
Let's move into something good.
Oh, I wish we could have JoJo on.
Oh, we doing
the
fatherhood over every hood.
Yes.
All right.
So in the spirit of upcoming Father's Day, we have JoJo, who is the brother to our show. He has Uncle JoJo's Radio, but he also has like the whole Love Deposit movement, and of course, like if you watch us, then you know exactly who Uncle JoJo is. And so JoJo's goofy as hell,
aka Blank Man.
like he's super goofy, and he'll dress up in like a superhero costume and all kinds of like it's hard to take him seriously. But he definitely has a heart for the community, and he definitely, you know, has a will to like instill values in the children that are around. And he goes around and he does stuff like for his birthday. He did the
gas
giveaway.
Yeah,
he partnered with a black-owned gas station, and then they gave
and he gave away gas for his birthday. It was a line. It was in Highland Hills.
Yeah,
it was in Highland Hills, and the line was like all the way down the road for people.
All the way to 45 almost.
Yeah, and he was giving away gas. So we love Uncle JoJo, and so it's just another effort that he has. And he also, like, he partners with whoever wants to donate, whoever wants to be a part. Like, he definitely doesn't take any of the credit. Like, if you give him $1, he gonna shout you out, you know, type situation.
Like,
and we love
like
that about him.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is was it the second fatherhood event?
Yeah,
Second annual.
So it's the second annual fatherhood event
We got some footage.
that he hosted. And what he does is he takes a bunch of boys out of the marginalized communities that we have here in Dallas, and he just shows them lots of love and like tries to pour into them and make them understand what was some of the. I meant to write down what he has is that what is like the black man is not my enemy.
Foe.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, so he had like a whole list of like just ideology.
When I horned
and,
the black man.
It
Right.
reminded me of an old school like Malcolm X like lecture where he was like, "This is the black head." Like you see him at
Right.
the board, and it's like the black man is this, the black man is that,
Right.
and just the like, I don't know. I really thought that was powerful. And then him getting
It's
other
super
black men that
powerful.
actually also were in good positions to help out. I think that just was amazing. It kind of it teared up a little bit.
It was really awesome because I really feel like of course like women we need that, but it's more important that the males have that because one, they have it so much worse than like any of us, and they also have to like make sure that they are in touch with like their feminine side, you know, as well, that they are able
Being
to like
vulnerable.
express those
Exactly.
emotions, and they learn
In
how
a safe
to
place.
conflict, you know, resolution and things of that sort.
Pam knows one of his quotes. What's crumbs to some is toast to
Yes,
most.
yes.
That's one of her favorites.
So one of the things he did with the FOE event, the young man King who spoke on the news about the recent passing of his friend that was murdered in crossfires in Pleasant Grove, he was able to reach out to that family
Yeah.
and bring him in to be a part of that. And, you know, just to see that young man go from the tears that we saw on the news to just smiling, happy, having a good time, it just shows the heart of JoJo as far as reaching young men in the community, caring about them. And a lot of the stuff he doesn't publicize it.
Right.
You know, it's not I see a lot of things jumping off now after recent events, and a lot of it is a lot of clout chasing. But what JoJo does is from the heart, and that's what I appreciate about him, you know, the most, is that it's genuinely from the heart
And
from his own pocket
Right.
most
Yes,
of the time.
right.
That's something that needs to be noted for sure.
Yeah, and just like being genuine and like that is what's most important because there are very few people that you can call and you know that they're gonna follow through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we have always been able to count on JoJo, and we're just really excited. I had
We got
actually
some of the footage.
so you got some of the footage?
Yeah. So this is the yoga. They get yoga.
And our black boys need to do yoga.
They do. And I think, you know, as much as, you know, as women, we're all for women empowerment, but I think that oftentimes the males get left behind, especially young black boys, they get left behind. And that's part of where we're at now in society, where it's like you see these women, oh, they're doing this, where you guys left the men behind.
Right.
You forgot
Left
all about
them
them, or you
to fend for
criminalized them or
themselves.
vilified them. And
Right.
so we do need to be reaching back. And so as many men that can do that as possible, I think that's necessary.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, and
Like
this
you
is
said,
an
that's
opportunity
exactly what
that we
King-
don't
He's showing them things they've never seen. Like,
Right.
I think that honestly that was just
And you
absolutely
think of how
amazing.
many of them like never get on jet skis and probably never gonna get on jet skis again. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, but it's just creating those lasting memories and like knowing that somebody does care.
And somebody's pouring into them.
And then they
it's
had
a
a
man, not just a woman. Like
Right.
you see women every day. Oh, but to see men out there in the front line pouring
Right.
And that
into
you
other
have-
black men.
Right, and that you have something to care about. You know somebody's watching you. You know somebody who's counting on you.
Exactly.
Well, you know.
And another thing I wanted to touch on with that event, he also had a lot of black men who did step up to the plate to
Yes.
help make that
Mhm.
event
What was that
possible.
one?
They also had like a black
The
chef.
chef,
So I thought
yeah.
that was good to see a black man
I
as a
think they got
chef.
haircuts.
Yeah,
They
well,
haircuts.
well,
They had Vincent.
Vincent was
They're
out
Making
there.
the world, it's like, what is it, making
Yeah,
the world
yeah.
famous.
And then they had they had the party bus that took them to and from the location.
Yeah, he definitely showed.
And then Tails and Shells came through with some crawfish.
I saw that they had crawfish
and
boil.
stuff.
But I found the.
There goes my daddy.
I found the quote about what he wrote down. It says, "The black man is not my enemy. I am not in competition with the black man, nor do I seek to do him any harm. Our fates are tied. I will rise as high as my brother. The black man is not my foe. It's brotherhood over any hood."
I'm so proud of our JoJo. I'm like,
Right.
He's so goofy.
Yeah, he's
But
so crazy, but he's so authentic.
Yeah,
and he just
definitely
really just
from
does.
a real
He
place.
does everything out of his heart. He's sincere as hell, and
And
you
he
don't
has
see
all
that
girls.
enough.
Cause
Some people, yeah.
Right.
No sons, and they were really upset
He
about
got
not
that
being
one
invited.
son.
No, he
He
don't.
claimed everybody. Period.
But it is funny because I saw him that weekend and he called me in between getting my hair done and he posted that picture of me talking about we were auditioning.
Yes,
No, he said we were
female
shooting the new
mentors.
Friday movie. Call
Yeah,
me
you was
Felicia. Black man, I
Yes,
got
for
you.
sure. So, like, if anybody wants to
Donate.
you can always hit up JoJo. He stay on our page, but you can always hit him up. And
Uncle JoJo Radio.
yeah, and also at Uncle JoJo, Radio.
Or
He's there.
JoJo Nelson.
And I don't know what his Cash App is.
It's Love Deposits with an S.
Love Deposits with an S. Okay. So you guys can donate, and then also, there's always next year. So if you feel
Right.
like you could be of any assistance, and you a black man who got kids that don't have kids, like it's just trying to protect our legacy as a culture, and,
Right.
and make sure that the black boy doesn't grow up into a
strong.
lawless
Because it
black
still
man.
takes a village.
It definitely does.
Mhm.
It definitely does.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. So shout out to JoJo. Okay.
I have a little before y'all go into the whole Father's Day conversation. I think I should show the video first of the photos that we have,
Okay.
so we can get a little break, and then when we come back in, y'all can go into it.
We'll be right back, y'all. Watch this wonderful video.
So it looks like we're at
41.
It feels so lovely to be here. That's beautiful. Give yourself some round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely. And while you're in the clapping mood, I'd like to give a big round of applause to my band.
Oh shoot!
Yo.
She said he was gonna leave it. She poured her some more.
No, she over here begging me, please.
She's drinking me straight through. It's music Y'all can't come to no more shows. This y'all last
We're
show.
the host. Like, what do you mean? Ain't no show without us.
It's over. Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Wait, Stan said Big Creek coming on September 27th. Are we gonna be giving away tickets?
Yeah, you gonna buy the tickets for us to give away, Stanton.
He
Put
said
his
that
people
y'all
in
do
touch
it
with our
last
people.
year.
Put his people in touch with our people, and we'll see what we can do.
I don't like black people.
Stanton, you gonna buy the tickets for us to give away.
Listen, are y'all gonna give away tickets? Here's an idea.
Asking for a friend. Of the
Who is
No,
oh,
Put
no,
his people in touch
Zilton,
with
you
our
weren't
people.
supposed to hear us, but it was like a whole situation going on.
Sorry, and we had some bloopers, behind the scenes bloopers. Almost knocked the whole table over. That's
But
all
yeah,
I gotta say.
That is your
So, what
I
pictures?
knock off.
What pictures
Right.
did you? Hi, Kamiko. What pictures did you show?
I show pictures of fathers, our fathers.
You did?
Yes,
Yeah, I
your
saw my daddy.
father,
My daddy,
walk-
my baby.
your daddy and your baby. Yes, Marie's kids and their father. I saw we had Lisa and her father,
My
me
brother.
and my father, her brother,
And his children.
kids, Versteven and his kids. Oh, we had everybody.
So
We shouted out a few extra fathers. Too,
Yeah, some other people that I
You
don't
seen
know.
what was it, Offset and Culture?
Oh, we had a picture. Offset and Culture. Was they from Kissing?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, too. I feel
Y'all
like
was
was
that?
hype now.
What?
Who's off?
we're not finna do
So
this.
we're not playing with you today.
We're not doing this.
So anyways,
This is
Cardi
about
B's
y'all fathers.
husband.
Yeah.
Tell us about our fathers. I would say, like, let's tell me something that your father said that, like, to this day now, it like rings true, and maybe not at that time. Like my father was big on like education, knowledge. He used to be like, because when your looks fade, which I really didn't appreciate. Like, first of all, my black isn't cracking, just so you know, so you're wrong
When
about
you
that.
look what?
When your
Your
looks
looks
fade,
fail.
you always gotta be smart, intelligent. But he always told me that each generation grows up weaker and wiser. And I remember saying, like, what are you talking about? And now I definitely see we have all the knowledge and the lack of implementation. We lack discipline. So that's like one thing my father always taught me that now it's like, it's kind of right and shit.
Yeah.
Like, my father raised me, so I'm like, so some things was like, whatever, you should be saying stuff. But I was
Right.
like, that was valid, sir. Like,
That was
I
right.
don't know, my daddy. Y'all, I'm a daddy's girl for real. That's my dude. I call my daddy before I call anybody else. Like something going sideways, I'm like, Daddy, I need you to come. I don't care what it is. I don't care if the toilet running. I don't
he
care.
like shake the toilet hand out.
Right, right. But my daddy, he was like, you know, it was pretty much like me. My sister is like, 8 years older than me, and so it was he didn't have like the little boy in the house, and so it was me up under the car. He's showing how to change the oil and hand him the 3/8 socket wrench and all this other stuff. So we bonded, and he in the garage listening to 107.5. I learned all.
Yeah, the music.
Yeah.
My daddy, the music always.
Yeah, so I mean, there's so many things that I could say that I don't know about anything that he would say, that just rang true. It was just like all of those little things that didn't count until I got grown, like knowing how to change a tire or knowing when somebody price gouging at the,
Right.
at the auto body shop or whatever. Things like that, like just knowing how to do for myself, not having to call. Because my daddy, he ain't calling no plumber. He ain't calling no roofer. He ain't calling. Listen.
He like, don't worry, I got this.
Right. Even at this age, like he'll climb up on the roof with a snake.
Oh, wow.
It get, like he
Like he over there cleaning out the gutter now.
right. Seriously. And so like I feel like that particular aspect is what I've always like enjoyed and loved about him, and that he passed on to me.
Do
both
Lisa.
selves.
My dad buy me Jordans.
Hey man, I got him some right now that he bought. But at any rate, my dad, boy, let me make sure I have some good stuff to say, because he will cuss my ass out. So that's something I learned from my daddy, how to cuss somebody out real good. Man, I learned how to drive down the freeway for 30 miles with my signal still on. They cut somebody out if they cut me off. Learned that from my daddy. I'm clumsy as hell. I got that from my daddy. Me and my daddy had this one wall in our house, and it had, those old houses in the 90s. It had like some, what is that stuff that goes around the wall? It was like some material was around. We would walk into the wall, and eventually we knocked the whole little line off the wall. Because we would just be
clumsy.
Clumsy.
Wow.
And that would just happen?
Nobody needs to know what happened behind the scenes. But man, I mean, so my daddy.
Miko was watching like, no.
Right. But at any rate, my dad, man, I learned just to be myself. That's one thing I can say I appreciate about my dad, is that at an early age, he always just allowed me to express myself, to be myself, to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
He supported me in everything, and
That's awesome.
I have more than just me as siblings, so I would say he every basketball game he was there. Even when my brother was in high school and he played too, him and my mom would be like switching, back and forth. One come during this half, one come during that half. So that's something that really stuck with me as a parent, being present. Because I know for me, if I was having a bad game, or if track meet wasn't going well, or even just academically, just making my dad proud, and just to look up and see he's in the stands, even though I know I'm looking like, oh, I'm finna get in trouble because I done had a fight during the game. That still just made a big difference, and I think that's what shaped me as a mom, and being present for all my kids' activities.
You be present.
I don't know that that's not what you're supposed to do, because that's what I saw.
How does having a father be present or not present affect you all's relationships, or what you all accept or don't accept from men?
I think it's a plus and a delta, because I think you're much more confident, because even too when you're a man raising a daughter too, you do let her think she's in power, she can do anything. So consequently too, while I understand the value of a man, I understand I don't need one as well. Right. So like I probably would be better in a pair. Like I can do better in a pair, but going back to, I'm also not going to just be here just to have a man. And I said it to say, because there's so many women that will just settle just to be with somebody. Well, I think you're more confident.
Yeah.
You're more confident. You're more ambitious. And I think because your daddy taught you can do anything, he got you. I got you. You're like, okay, so I can jump. You're like, yeah, jump.
Right.
You can fly. You're like, okay.
So it was definitely like a situation. I think like the first time around, like when I got married, that was like a crazy ass situation that just wasn't even supposed to happen. I don't even know how fate intertwined itself with me like that. However, they do say that a girl like is more likely to find a guy that's like her dad, and I think in some aspects it's kind of true in, as far as like, I found like a provider, you know what I'm saying? But he not handy. Like he don't. He's getting better. He's getting better. He's getting better with being handy. I think like owning a home, it will force you to like be a little bit more handy than usual. But but I think having my dad in my life, it didn't bring about as much confusion when it came to certain things. Like, I wasn't out there necessarily looking for somebody to replace something that I already had. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a situation to where I needed like a man's affection. It's like I got my daddy. That's always what it was. It was like, well, if you can't at least do what my daddy do, then I can't. Right. We can't do this because I'm sorry. And so I feel like that's having my father present. It didn't. When I got married to somebody whose dad wasn't present, and there was a guy. A guy whose father isn't present.
And their dynamic even is differently. And
but just seeing like somebody growing up without a father, and how they just don't have a balance of energies at all. Like it's just not there, and that's a lot to deal with. It's just being with somebody who's completely polarized.
I don't know, even for me, I think though, I will say this, I'm my father's only child. So by me being his only child too, I feel like one of the curses is being super understanding. Because my father would tell me about everything. So even some stuff, like even if you ain't like it, you got it. Like, well, men will do blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm like, but I don't like that. He's like, yeah, but they just do stupid. They don't think sometimes. So I feel like sometimes that's giving me insight where it's like, I don't want to understand what you're saying to me or your situation, but I also understand that's what some men do. Right. And so I wish that's the part I don't like, because too, sometimes I feel like I give a man the courtesy that I want someone to give my father. I love my dad. So it's like I want someone to kind of give him a bit of a doubt, like even in his imperfection.
Don't take no shit.
Like even in his imperfection, like I want somebody to give my father the benefit of the doubt. Period.
Right. And I feel like my dad, like he passed that on to me. Like I didn't take, nothing, and he didn't.
That's
like,
we got the
same attitude when it comes to stuff.
Oh, I'm supposed to answer that question too. Okay. What was the question again?
Having a father present or not present, how do you think it has affected the relationships that you've had with men?
Oh, that's personal. No, but seriously, honestly, I don't think my dad's presence really affected it, because I'm very strongly into doing what I want to do anyway. So I made some bad choices back in the day when I was young. But at any rate, so I can say I still kind of shape some of my thought process. Like, are you able to do this, that, and the other? Oh, okay, well, you can't. Okay, I just call my daddy. Like, if I feel like in a relationship, if I have to still call my daddy for anything, I don't need to be with you.
But then I feel like, you know, you have him there, that speaks volumes in itself. Too. Like, I don't need this shit. I'm
Right,
call my
exactly.
Daddy. You ain't even got to worry about it.
I feel like I'ma always call my daddy. As long as my daddy is still alive,
My
I
dad-
am still going to call my father. And it's because that I'm his daughter, I'm his baby. I'm always going to be like, I've always been able to call on him, right? It's not saying that I'm necessarily dependent upon him because I can always figure out a way to do anything.
Right,
exactly.
But I would prefer to call my daddy. It makes me feel good to call my daddy because my daddy be knowing what he's talking about, and I ain't got to figure out. So I can just call Mike, and Mike gonna figure that out for me, and we ain't got to worry about it. So I mean, I don't. I feel like there are some instances where it's like if you have to call your daddy, then it's different. But it's like I just prefer to call my daddy.
Does your partner ever have an issue? Like, you call your dad again?
No.
Oh, he like, all right, good, because I don't feel like...
My daddy came and installed the ceiling fan in the living room.
He was like, thank you.
He was
Sir,
like,
here
he
it
like,
is.
screws.
He like, and what you say? He over there like, what else you need me to do, sir?
You need me to hold a flashlight?
We took him out to dinner afterwards. I want to thank you for installing this ceiling
Do y'all
I mean-
have anything special planned for you all's dads? Or
I was in
I'm
my
gonna be in
mind.
LA.
fathers?
My dad's in
Nah,
Chicago.
I feel like that, you know, because I ain't asked to be here.
What?
Shut up, let me finish my sentence.
I'm not gonna let you
Where
do
you
your dad
going
like
with
that.
this? Like,
I'm a
cut
brat.
her mic off.
So,
like, what?
there's these new Jordans coming out this weekend, and
She
I was
won't
thinking I
have
should
to
get a gift, daddy.
For Father's
My
Day?
brother's watching, so he gonna snitch anyway. He gonna tell my dad exactly what I said. But I think that I should get a Father's Day gift from my dad and a Mother's Day gift from my mom, because like I wasn't there when they was making, you know, themselves moms
That's
and dads. So
I think
gift me.
that's hilarious. I think one year I told my
Look at
ex-husband,
Drea. She's like that's just
She's
Look,
ignorant.
instead,
Ignorant.
Stan said, Mike, everybody loves my daddy, y'all. Like, my daddy,
Gift me.
he knows I do everything.
I just think I should get a gift this year.
Gift me for being
Gift me for being here.
Now I can see your kid's father. Like I feel like well you wouldn't even have kids if it wasn't for me. So this wouldn't even be your day. I did this. You can thank me later. You know, thank me now.
Thank me later, either way.
I mean, I feel like my birth and my life is more.
Let's see, we have
Bless was actually born on Father's Day weekend.
Oh.
So every year we have a whole conflict of Father's Day and
his
birthday.
birthday.
And we're having it again this year because he's celebrating. So we always have to bring it together. But I think him being born on Father's Day was like
That was
one
a
of the
gift.
It was like a gift.
greatest
No.
Father's Day gifts,
I
right?
heard that you're not supposed to be cheap for the fathers on Father's Day. The dads
the
don't
Target,
like
the
it.
Target.
But
They-
you
because
wouldn't
they
know
get
that when I was a
socks.
kid.
They get socks. They get all the bad stuff. Now I do want to
No, I
say,
give nice gifts.
and I didn't get
Not
to
on
have my
bad
props today because I was gonna show y'all what y'all females look like when y'all talking about I'm the mama and the daddy.
Oh, yeah.
You look like a whole man.
I don't know.
Don't do that this weekend. Don't make them Facebook posts.
I
Don't
agree.
tell Shaniqua
You
happy.
don't agree.
No,
Father's
don't
Day.
tell Shaniqua happy Mother's
A woman
Father's Day.
cannot
I have
show.
never.
I'm a single mother, and I don't want to be told Happy Father's Day because I am not
But
a
that's
father.
your
I am
experience.
only a mother.
But there-
That is
Because I
it.
feel like you never
That
know.
is all.
It's like we all feel a certain way based on our experience. You don't know what someone went through, or you don't know what.
Unless you went through gender reassignment.
But I feel like going back to you 365, you might feel some kind of way, and depending on what got you in that scenario. I don't like. I've seen posts coming up. Like for me, I've never once claimed Father's Day, and my husband's
When would
actually
it
doing
be
military.
appropriate?
But I feel like if I see a man,
Never.
so going back to even for me, I was raised by my father.
He was
So
like-
even on Mother's Day, I never initially I ain't gonna lie until I really had a strong relationship with my mom. I still was kind of like shoot. You here 365, so you're everything to me. And so I feel like to me, I think it just varies. I'm not again.
I can
I've
still
never
be
done it,
everything
but
to
I
my
feel
kids
like
without being told Happy
I feel like
Father's
you do
Day,
what you
though,
want to do.
because
No,
that's
you live your
reality.
experience.
So
I
here's
don't-
the thing.
You
So
live your
I feel like we
experience.
do
I
too
don't
much
get
of
to
letting
tell
people
somebody-
do whatever they
It's
want to
still
do.
a Hallmark
Wait,
holiday.
y'all talking over each other.
It's a Hallmark holiday.
I feel like we do too much of letting people just do them and live their own truths and stuff
Hallmark
like
holidays,
that.
white
I
man's
feel
holiday.
like we have to draw the line at some point.
Right.
Like if we can say Happy Father's Day, it means a happy damn Father's Day because Mother's Day is way bigger.
And it's
than
not
Father's Day.
drama
Like,
filled the
you-
way that Father's
and you
Day gets.
Just let
I don't know. I
let
buy
let
nice
let
gifts,
the
though.
good fathers have their own day.
She's like, Happy Father's Day.
I just think it's weird to have a woman say, oh, well, your daddy wasn't around, so I'm the mom. I had to be the mama and the daddy. No, the fuck you didn't.
But I've seen kids gift their mother on Father's Day, too.
But that's what the kids
That's what I'm
choose
saying.
to do.
And so
What
that's
I'm
why I'm
saying
saying
is that women.
it's still, but I mean, do you shout I don't shout myself out on Mother's Day, so
What?
I am shouting
They do
out.
it.
Oh, I don't shout myself out.
Happy
So,
Father's Day to me, because I'm the
Right.
I'm the
I'm
mama
the
and the
father,
I don't
so
even
that's what
Happy
I'm
Mother's
talking
Day
about.
myself. But
So-
going back to, I don't know someone else's experience, and I'm not going to marginalize. I don't know if they was raped. I don't know what they went through.
You
I'm
could've
not
been,
telling another
but you
woman
still
how
That
not
I
doesn't
should
make
be.
you a father.
But I'm
though.
still not going to tell somebody how to do something.
I am.
I'm with you.
So on that note,
I'm not.
do not get if you're my
Let these
Facebook
men-
friend.
Marie said y'all can.
I'm not
Lisa
done.
said y'all
Hey,
can.
I'm telling them if you my Facebook friend, I'm getting
Should
on
I
your
bet not
post and I'm
catch
gonna say BS. I'm gonna have something to say about it. I'm gonna post one of them pictures of
Should
one
I,
of
unless
the,
you have
the-
a gender reassignment.
what's that dude name that got the beard and then he wear his
Joey
wig?
and the Scammer.
Whichever one. Funky
That's my favorite.
Funky Deneva, is that?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's the black guy who had the beard and he
And
or
wig.
Quay Quay. I'm posting one of those
Because
pictures
that's
on
who you are.
your.
You a man and a woman.
Yeah, I'm doing it because
I just
I
feel
just don't
like
think
there
it's
are
necessary.
some really outstanding
Don't mama or
fathers.
daddy
Oh,
shame.
definitely.
There are some really outstanding fathers out there, and they don't need to share a day with you. They
I
don't.
agree.
They just don't.
Because you
Like,
just had
God,
Mother's
pick an
Day.
next year that's Hallmark holiday.
Pick a day in between
you.
and say, this is
I mean,
Mama
it's not
Daddy,
real
Mama
Hallmark.
Daddy Day.
It's not real.
Mama
but
Daddy
still.
Day.
So
Yeah.
that's why I feel like we're quick. This is what I
So
would
we
say.
need a Mother's Day, a mama and a daddy
And
day.
we need a single parent day.
and a single parent day. That's what we need.
Nah.
But then again, even too, are you a
good.
single parent? Or are you
Unless
single
I'm
and a
getting
parent?
some gifts and taking
Yeah,
it
Right,
out.
'cause that's
get
the
gifts.
difference.
single
too.
parent.
You
not
gonna get
single
some
and a
J's.
parent.
But we're going back to if
Now you're an actual single parent,
but
not
you
a
heavily
single person that
provided
got
for.
kids.
Right.
If you have, let's say you are like the person, your
caretaker.
ex is heavily provided, like
The
he steps
primary-
in. He has the kids half as much. I know men that pick up their kids half as much. They split everything.
Then you're not
so
a
to even
single
say,
parent,
are
you're
you a
just
single parent? You're single and a parent.
You're single
That's why
and
I
a
said there's
parent,
definitely
right.
a difference.
Mhm.
But going back to that's why I just feel like everybody's situation is different. Like, and I feel like to be offended because I know men that like I've already seen those posts, but it's like you're judging based off that you're a stand-up man. There's so many men that aren't. Just like there's so many women that are deadbeat ass women. Like you don't know somebody else's situation. So I'm not telling somebody how to live their life. Like,
So-
But
so
I'm gonna
what's-
tell them they can't say Happy Father's Day.
What's being
She's like, I
said,
don't
but the problem is what men are saying, and I agree with a lot of
Is they
them,
don't
is
get
that
enough.
on Mother's Day there's not deadbeat mother bashing.
I see that
There's
actually.
well, we got different Facebook friends, I guess, but there's not as much deadbeat bashing on Mother's Day as
People
it is
celebrate
on
the
Father's
worst
Day.
of mothers on Mother's
But
Day.
even the
Crackhead mamas be getting.
But you know what's funny?
Well,
though?
I mean,
People,
it's some good
people
crackhead
I've
mamas.
seen
go
men-
to
I
church
think.
on Christmas,
I've seen
Mother's Day,
men-
Easter. They don't go on Father's Day.
I seen
My
men
mama
literally
wasn't
stalk
crazy.
women they don't know and post pictures, but they ain't post one damn thing about their mama. So that already let me know. Like, so do you know?
I
any
don't
of
post
these
my
women
mama
you-
on Facebook
But-
and she told me she'll beat my
But he
ass.
didn't say Happy Mother's Day to his own mama, but literally random women just like, who is she? Oh, I seen
But
her
you
on,
don't have
I
to
seen
do
on
that on
IG. She was
social
fine
media.
and she a mama. I was just like, well, you didn't shout it out all
I
these
know who y'all
strangers.
talking
Like,
about,
you shouted out all
so
these strangers, but
I
you
know
ain't
exactly
shout
who
your
you're
own mama
talking
out.
about.
That speaks volumes.
Stanton said,
Especially
Happy
when
Mother's
you
Day
just-
to all the good mothers, not such and such. Will cause a whole mess on Facebook, so let's not do it to the dads.
Right.
And then Jonathan said it's not the child's fault that they have a deadbeat father. They shouldn't have to feel obligated to celebrate their mother on anything other than Mother's Day. Period. With a T on the end. Big dot.
I say you
You
can
You
do
don't even
what they
gotta
want.
celebrate
Even
on
too,
Mother's Day.
I want to say this, like,
either.
even like I salute my ex-husband, he's very stable, very secure, but even my daughter was like, you know, my ex-husband's active duty, he's constantly out the country. She's like, I'm looking for these cars, but I wanted an honest card. I can't say he fixed this and this for me, but he definitely look out for this and this for me. And she was like straight, like showing me the car, like, look, Mom, so this is the one, but she's like, I don't like buying cars that aren't honest. And I feel the
Make
same
one.
way. But she found a good one. But it was just kind of like, I feel the same, whether it be Mother's Day, holidays. I'm not going to pretend like you somebody you wasn't.
We still buying cards?
Yeah, I still be buying
That's
cards.
cute.
I got
Right,
cards
right.
for
And I make sure it's
everything, 'cause
like
I
Hallmark,
cards.
one of those
I
expensive
like to
cards.
write
Let me
notes
tell y'all something.
in the cards.
My
I get.
handwriting
Let me
is
tell y'all
trash,
something.
so I'm not writing it out.
When them
I'm
cards,
not.
when them cards started charging syntax, do you
Girl,
remember when the cards went from like $3
I
to
get my
like
two
They
$6,
like
$7?
six.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, Lord.
I go right on down to Dollar Tree.
I be
two
high.
for a dollar.
Sometimes
American Greens,
No,
Hallmark.
I go to
American
Dollar
Greens high
Tree
now,
two
too.
for a dollar.
A part of me was just like, wow,
Don't bring my
like if I got
secrets
you a
away.
gift, do I have to get you a card?
I'm I'm gonna send you a text.
Dollar Tree, 2 for $1. I've been doing it for years.
I
Nobody
like money
knows
and
the
gift
difference.
cards.
But
Nah, my people be looking.
No, because they got some American
I like
Britneys
money and
and
gift
some
cards.
mahogany. Thank you.
So, what I do want to talk about, I know we're getting. I wanted to talk about now, kind of what I want to talk about next week, because I know we're right at the hour mark, and it kind of like cascades into what we're talking about now, and it is how did your parents parent you, and as an adult now, you as a parent, you have your own children. What are some of the meat and the bones, right? So you take the meat and you spit out the bones.
Right.
Like, what are some of the flaws that you saw, like from your parents, and that you've changed and you've kind of like, you know, tweaked to say, okay, well, I didn't really like that, so I'm gonna apply this
Right.
with my children and try to like better their lives and not necessarily have some of the issues that you had growing up.
They're trying to get us beat up. I don't.
Are we
Yeah, I
answering
think
that
that,
right now?
no, she was saying next week.
My mama
so
will
we
be on
can
here like,
post
you
that.
said
We can
what?
post that question on the page.
Yeah, so
that
we'll
we can have
post on our
further-
page, and that'll definitely like, and we want to know what y'all think too, because a lot, you know, we're pretty much all parents for the most part. We have a couple who have, you know, raised their brothers and sisters, got niece nephews and things of that sort. And also, you know, even if you don't have kids, like you grew up with your parents, and it's like, what are some of the things that you say? You know what? I ain't gonna never let my kids do blah blah blah, or I ain't gonna never tell my kids blah 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 because of. And I'll just give an example. My parents never humanized themselves. Never, not once. And it was due to like them. My dad grew up in a real big family, had 12 brothers and sisters. My mom, her grandparents raised her, so it's super old school. And so they reflected that parenting onto us. They were never humanized. Like they never fucked up. They never did.
Like,
They
we
never.
but we did not fuck
But
up.
even if they did, it was never that moment where they came back and said, you know what, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. Or they were never a human being. And so I always made it a point, like as I'm parenting, that when I do make those missteps or, you know, have a bad calculation and judgment, and it has to do with my child, I need for her to recognize that I'm a flawed human being before I'm anything. I'm going to fuck up, and I need you to realize that you're going to fuck up as well. So you are able to go back and say, hey, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done both.
I agree.
And ask for that forgiveness. So that's just an example of what I'm talking about. But we'll put the post up and let you guys kind of provide some feedback, and we'll get into it a little bit deeper next week.
And tell us what y'all think about the should mothers say Happy Father's Day to themselves and the other mothers. I want to know what
How
y'all
you?
think.
But that's even like I might happy birthday myself, but I ain't gonna happy Mother's Day myself.
They
Like,
do
you know, my
it.
kids have to do that. For, like
I'm gonna
how
share
I'ma
every
give,
post
like,
on your page so you
yourself
can see
little
it.
like I can't give myself a pat on the back. That's like that means nothing. It's truly like, and there's nothing wrong with saying you did a great job, but like that's not a compliment.
No, you can't like steal people's thunder. Like you can't do that. There are no participation ribbons when it comes to this. Like yes, you're a wonderful parent, but due to the fact that you carried the child and you gave birth to the child, that makes you a mother. You don't provide that energy that males provide. Like you can't.
Unless
you're
you have gender
incapable.
orientation or you.
No, even if you had gender reassignment, you are incapable of providing that energy in that child's life. You can't. You can bring in a male mentor, you can have a father, you can bring in all that, but like the energy that a male brings, you can't bring that energy. You're not a father, you're a mother. And so happy Mother's Day and happy Father's Day. But we're not going to push these two things together and say, I'm going to celebrate you. No, you brought the female energy.
I'm the mama.
That's all you did. Like, you were one piece of the puzzle. You brought the female energy.
How about I think they do have mahogany cards that actually say something.
Well, why
to
they
that
push that to the black
I
people?
know it's
though?
like first of all, I see
better
your
not see that card.
microaggressions.
I'm gonna knock all that stuff.
I'm gonna knock all this off.
Well, happy Father's Day to
Happy
all
Father's Day.
To all
We
the
still
daddies.
salute you guys.
To all the daddies that's trying, just
To
keep
my
trying
daddy, your daddy.
and push
Because the
through.
mama's trying too. Everybody
Right.
trying.
Right.
Just do your
We are
best.
just trying to do the best we can with what we know.
For sure.
We're gonna go out with the Father's Day pictures.
There goes
again.
my daddy and my brother.
One more
and
time
my
for
nephew,
y'all as we say
and
goodbye.
my brother again with his kids. There goes my daddy again. Look,
See y'all next week.
that's me and my daddy.
feels so lovely to be here.
They got one
Beautiful.
of
Give yourself
Oh, yeah,
It's so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
That's Dre out, Daddy.
Yeah, we
that's
can't
my
see baby.
I'd like to give a big round of applause to my band.
That's Dre.
That was so cute.
Yeah, that's the picture.
That's Uncle
No,
JoJo
no,
and
no, no,
Joey.
no.
And his 3-piece.
My
no
boy
doubt.
Reggie and his baby.
Reggie and the baby.
That's Offset in culture. That's Hub and his daughter.
We bought her that Benz, y'all.
Y'all know who that is.
Mouthman, Muhammad, Martin.
Fathers, continue being present.
We need you.
In your
We
children's
will
lives.
never stop needing you.
And we will
Me and my
always
daddy.
celebrate you.
Marie and her kids.
There's Eli and Morgan.
I stole those pictures off Facebook.